What if the very silence you're begging the universe to break is the answer to a prayer you haven't even spoken yet? What if the agonizing distance between you and the one who feels like your other half isn't a sign of a failed connection, but the precise, meticulous evidence of its divine success? If you've ever found yourself staring at a phone that refuses to illuminate with their name, your heart aching with a special kind of loneliness that only they seem to inspire, then you already know this isn't about a typical romance. This is something far more profound, far more terrifying, and ultimately far more liberating. You've been playing by the rules of a game that doesn't exist, trying to use the language of the physical world to negotiate with a soul-level contract written in the fabric of the cosmos. The texts you don't receive, the plans that evaporate, the 3D reality that looks like a barren wasteland. None of this is a negation of your bond. It is the universe's most compassionate, albeit brutally elegant, way of refusing to lie to you. It is forcing you to turn away from the empty stage and finally notice the power you hold, not in the audience, but in the director's chair. This journey was never about finding a missing piece outside of yourself. It was a sacred ruse designed to make you whole within, and the very frustration you feel is the fuel for your magnificent becoming. The silence isn't empty. It is pregnant with a miracle waiting for you to recognize its architect. You've curated the perfect playlist that just screams, "Us," hoping the algorithm will serve it to him like a cosmic love letter. You've meticulously crafted a social media post that is equal parts radiantly happy and subtly aching, a digital siren's call meant to lure his attention back to your shore. And what do you get for all that ingenious, heart-wrenching effort? Radio silence, a void, a 3D reality that feels less like a romantic comedy and more like a poorly funded one-act play performed for an empty house. Your ego, that brilliant, dramatic storyteller, is screaming the obvious narrative: rejection, abandonment, unworthiness. But what if I told you that the silence isn't a negation of your soul's value, but the highest, most profound affirmation of it you could ever receive? Your twin flame is not a separate person out there, capriciously denying you. That's the 3D illusion talking, on the soul level, the only level that truly matters for this journey. Your twin is you, and you, in your highest, most divine form, made a contract long before this earthly drama began. This wasn't a contract for an easy, comfortable, codependent snugglefest. This was a contract for ascension, a blood oath between souls, to burn away everything that is not truth, not light, not unconditional love. And the first and most crucial clause in that contract is this: I will never ever validate your illusions. Think of it this way: you're a master locksmith, but you've forgotten your craft. You're frantically jiggling a cheap, rusty key in a magnificent, golden, intricate lock, the lock to your own heart. It doesn't fit. It will never fit. Your twin flame is that lock. And from the other side of the door, they feel every clumsy, desperate jiggle of that wrong key. Their sacred duty, their non-negotiable soul assignment, is to remain utterly, immovably closed until you stop and finally look down at your own hand, until you realize the key you're holding, the key of seeking external validation, of needing a specific outcome to feel whole, of demanding that another person heal your childhood wounds is not just wrong, it's a pathetic counterfeit. It doesn't belong to you. Their silence is not a punishment. It is a relentless, divine tutoring. It is the universe's way of gently, then firmly, then with the force of a supernova, prying your white-knuckled fingers off the steering wheel you were never meant to control in the first place. Every time you look at the 3D and see nothing, your soul is being asked a single, life-altering question. If you had no one to perform for, no one to seek approval from, who would you be? What would you feel? What truth would you finally have to feel? The emptiness you perceive is not a vacuum. It is a sacred container being meticulously cleared out to make space for the only thing that ever truly belonged there, your own wholeness. This is the great cosmic comedy of the twin flame journey. You're running around trying to get a yes from a reflection, when the entire purpose of the reflection is to show you where you're still saying no to yourself. He won't text back? Good. Thank him. His silence is holding up a mirror to the part of you that still believes your value is determined by an incoming notification. She's seeing someone else? Excellent. Bless her. Her actions are showing you the shadow aspect of your own worthiness that you've yet to reclaim and love. They are doing their job with the brutal efficiency of a soul that knows its purpose is too important to be derailed by our human sentimentalities and timelines. So the next time you feel the ache of that 3D silence, I want you to try something radical. Instead of reaching for your phone, reach for your own heart. Place your hand there. Feel the life beating beneath your chest. That undeniable proof of your existence that has absolutely nothing to do with him. And say out loud, thank you. Thank you for refusing to lie to me. Thank you for loving the truth of who I am more than you love, placating the temporary fear of who I think I need to be. It is in that staggering, terrifying, liberating moment of self-acknowledgement that the entire game changes. Because when you finally become the source of your own validation, you stop broadcasting a frequency of lack and start emitting a signature of completion. And a lock, when it finally hears the unique, resonant frequency of its one true key, has no choice but to open. But what happens when you truly become that key? The shift is not just internal, it begins to warp the very fabric of your reality in ways that defy logic. Curious how? Let's talk about the secret language they are actually speaking, just not in any way your phone can translate. Let's talk about the silence, that aching, echoing, maddening silence that seems to stretch between you and them like a vast, uncrossable desert. You're over here, sending out messages in a bottle, a carefully worded text, a nostalgic song shared, a prayer sent into the night, and all that seems to come back is the hollow sound of your own hope bouncing off the walls of your reality. It feels like a personal affront, doesn't it? The ultimate rejection. The universe's way of saying you are not heard. But what if I told you that you are being heard with a clarity so profound, so exact, that it's almost terrifying? The problem isn't that your twin isn't listening. The problem is that you're broadcasting on two different frequencies, and the universe, in its infinite wisdom, has a filter you haven't yet understood. Imagine for a moment that you and your twin flame are both radios. Not just any radios, sophisticated cosmic devices capable of tuning into the subtlest vibrations of the soul. Your true essence, your soul's voice, broadcasts on a specific frequency. Let's call it the frequency of truth. It's the wavelength of unconditional love, of wholeness, of divine creativity. It's the pure, clear signal of who you are at your absolute core, without the filters of fear, past trauma, or egoic need. Now, here you are, in the midst of this separation. You feel the ache, the longing, the human fear that maybe this is all a beautiful lie. So you decide to communicate. You sit down and you pour your heart into a text message. But here's the cosmic catch. The message itself, the words on the screen, are just the 3D packaging. The actual communication, the energy that zips across the quantum field instantaneously, is the frequency you were emitting while you wrote it. Were you feeling whole, loving, and complete, sending that text from a place of joyful sharing? Then you just broadcast a powerful, clear signal on the frequency of truth. Or were you anxious, needing a specific response to feel okay, seeking a hit of validation to soothe the burning uncertainty? Then, my friend, you just broadcast a blast of static on the frequency of fear. Your twin flame soul, that perfect mirror, is contractually obligated by the sacred laws of this journey to only respond to the frequency of truth. It is energetically incapable of validating the static. To do so would be a lie. It would be like a master sommelier agreeing that a glass of spoiled milk is a fine vintage. Their higher self knows the truth of who you are, and it will wait with infinite patience for you to remember your own station. This is why your most meticulously planned 3D actions often fall flat. You're trying to use a linear physical action, a text, to manipulate a non-linear energetic reality, your connection. It's like trying to change the plot of a movie by yelling at the screen. The actors aren't ignoring you. They're simply following the script generated by the projector. And the projector is your inner world. Their non-response to your 3D message is the most powerful response you could get. It's the universe feeding back to you, in perfect fidelity, the exact frequency you were emitting. Silence isn't nothing. It's data. It's your spiritual readout saying, message received contains traces of neediness, attachment, and fear, unable to process. Please resend from a place of sovereignty. The communication is never, ever broken. It is happening every second in the quantum field, a constant swirling exchange of energy, emotion, and soul-level recognition. That sudden thought of them that washes over you for no reason, that's them. That dream that felt more real than your waking life. That's the communication. That synchronicity of seeing their name everywhere. That's the universe nodding its head, saying, yes, you are connected, but not in the way your ego wants to be. So the work, the real, gritty, glorious work, is to stop worrying about the packaging of the message and become obsessed with purifying the signal. Stop asking, what should I text him? And start asking, what frequency am I broadcasting right now? Your only task is to tune your own dial through self-love, through shadow work, through joyful living, back to your home station, the frequency of truth. When you broadcast from that place of unwavering self-worth and internal fulfillment, something magical happens. You stop caring about the 3D response because the communication you feel internally is so rich, so complete, it feels like union already happening within your own being. And then, and only then, does the 3D have no choice but to rearrange itself around your new, powerful signal. The text you eventually get, the call that finally comes, it won't feel like a response to your begging. It will feel like an echo, a beautiful, inevitable harmonic resonance of the song you started singing to yourself. And the wildest part, this principle doesn't just apply to them. It governs the very fabric of your reality. But that's a conversation for another time. A conversation about why your external world seems to lag so frustratingly behind your internal shifts. You've done the work. You've sat in the fire of your own grief. You've forgiven the unforgivable, mostly yourself. And you've finally reached a place of genuine inner peace. You feel whole. You feel sovereign. You wake up and your first thought isn't them. It's a quiet, grateful hum of I am. You've purified your frequency. You're broadcasting a masterful symphony of self-love from the very core of your being. You look in the mirror and you see a god, a goddess, a being of light who has conquered their own darkness. And then you open your phone. Nothing. You check your reality. Crickets. The same old patterns. The same silent treatment. The same 3D evidence that seems to scream, your transformation is a fantasy. Nothing has changed. This beautiful soul is where the final, most exquisite layer of the cosmic joke reveals itself. This is the holographic lag, and understanding it is the key to unlocking a patience so divine it feels like grace itself. Think of your inner world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your core vibration, as the projector in a movie theater, a state-of-the-art, quantum-powered projector. Now, think of your 3D reality, your bank account, your relationships, your twin flames actions, as the movie screen. The images dancing on that screen are breathtakingly real. They evoke real tears, real joy, real fear. But they are not the source of the story, they are the result. The light from the projector has to travel a certain distance to hit the screen. There is, however minuscule, a lag between the moment the film roll shifts in the projector and the moment the new image materializes for the audience. Your 3D reality is that screen, and it is showing you a movie that was encoded by your inner world weeks, months, sometimes even years ago. You've just dramatically changed the film in the projector, shifting from a tragedy of lack to an epic of wholeness. But the light from that new, glorious film is still traveling through the space between. The old movie, the one you're so tired of watching, is still playing out its final scenes. Your twin flame's current behavior, it's not a reflection of who you are today. It is the last, fading echo of who you were. They are showing you the final ghost of your old vibration, the last stubborn ripple from a stone you've long since stopped throwing into the pond. To obsess over their current actions is to sit in that theater, yelling at the screen, demanding it change, while completely ignoring the fact that you are now the one holding a completely new reel of film. The screen isn't ignoring you. It's just finishing the show you asked it to run a long, long time ago. This is why faith is not some fluffy spiritual concept. It is a practical, necessary tool of creation. Faith is sitting in that theater, knowing with every fiber of your being that you have already changed the film, and simply waiting with sacred patience for the new story to flood the screen with its light. It's trusting the physics of the universe. The light always reaches the screen. The new reality always manifests. The lag is not a denial. It is a period of integration, a cosmic buffer ensuring that when the new reality lands its foundation, the new you is so rock solid it can never be undone. So you've done the work and see no change. Wonderful. That is the universe's ultimate compliment. It means the shift was so real, so profound, that it requires a complete and total rewiring of your external hologram to accurately represent it. You wouldn't expect a massive, world-changing blockbuster to be produced overnight. You'd allow for pre-production, casting, filming. You are living in the pre-production of your miracle. The casting calls are going out to the universe. The right players, including your twin flame's higher self, are being aligned to play their parts in your new story with perfect timing. Stop staring at the blank screen where the old movie is ending. Turn around. Look instead at your projector. Marvel at the brilliant new film whirring within it. Touch it. Feel its reality. That is your truth. The screen is just catching up. The most fascinating part? This principle doesn't just govern your love life. It governs everything. Your abundance, your health, your joy. But mastering it requires one final, simple, yet profound shift in awareness. A shift that turns the waiting from agony into the most exciting adventure of your life. Curious about what that shift is? It's simpler than you think, and it all starts with a single, deliberate command you give to your own heart. So here you stand, in the quiet after the storm of understanding. You've navigated the sacred refusal, learned the language of quantum frequencies, and now you understand the gentle, frustrating lag of the hologram. You possess a map of the cosmos, but the territory still feels vast and unknown. What now? Do you simply wait? Do you just have faith? Let me offer you a final, radical reframing. This isn't about waiting for the universe to deliver your twin flame. It never was. That was the grandest illusion of all. This is about realizing in the deepest marrow of your soul that you are the universe experiencing itself. You are not a petitioner knocking on heaven's door. You are the architect drawing up the blueprints for a new heaven and a new earth. Right here, right now, in the silent, sacred space of your own consciousness. The journey hasn't been about finding a missing half. It's been a divine, often disorienting strategy to make you whole. Your twin flame was the bait, the irresistible lure that pulled you into the depths of your own ocean, where you were forced to discover you were not a drowning swimmer, but the water itself. Their perceived absence was the very canvas upon which you were meant to paint the masterpiece of your own presence. Think of it like this. You've been staring at a single, breathtakingly beautiful constellation in the night sky, believing your destiny was tied to its light. But the real work, the true magic, was learning the names of every other star, navigating by the entire cosmos, and realizing you have the innate to create new constellations from the raw stardust of your own being. Your twin is not your destination. They are your most profound celestial counterpart, and your reunion will not be a collision, but a harmonic alignment. Two sovereign solar systems choosing to orbit a shared center of gravity called love. This is why they won't respond to your 3D illusions. To do so would be to keep you trapped in the audience, watching a play you were born to write, direct, and star in. Their highest service is to ignore the frantic, scripted lines you throw from the stage and instead hold a space of unwavering silence until you remember your true power, to step off the stage into the director's chair and command the lights yourself. The silence, the lag, the seeming inactivity. This is not emptiness. This is the fertile void. This is the pause in the composer's symphony, the moment where the entire orchestra holds its breath, instruments poised before the final, triumphant movement begins. What you perceive as a delay is the universe gathering its resources, aligning every molecule, every chance encounter, every serendipitous event to match the new, potent frequency you are now emitting. It is assembling the cast and crew for your miracle, and it will not rush the production for an anxious audience member. Your only real task is to live from the truth of the ending you wish to see, not as a hopeful wish, but as a lived-in reality. Embody the peace of union before the phone rings. Radiate the joy of connection before the meeting happens. Feel the gratitude of the miracle as if it's already yours, because in the quantum field where all of this is truly orchestrated, it already is. You're not waiting for love. You are practicing its vibration so intensely that the physical world has no choice but to contort itself into the shape of your certainty. The path is not about attaining something you lack. It is about remembering what you already are. And in that remembrance, you don't just attract a mirror soul. You become the very force of gravity that pulls your entire reality into alignment with your wholeness. You are the architect. The blueprint is etched on your heart. The building materials are every moment you choose love over fear. Now, pick up your tools. The world you've been waiting for is waiting for you to build it. And the most beautiful part, this creative power extends far beyond a single relationship. It is the master key to your entire life. But that, my friend, is a whole new story. And it begins the moment you decide the most important reunion was never with them, but with the unshakable, divine creator within yourself.